Good evening, friends, fiends, and night owl supremes. Welcome to A Bit Late, where night owl supremes, oh my goodness, do I have a story for you. It's The Owl and the Eagle, and it will make you question reality, like most fairy tales do, with every sentence, sometimes multiple times within a sentence, because things just change so fast, and it might be the translation, or it just might be all the different versions got mixed into one story, but it is quite a story, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So if you're struggling with, reality right now, this one, because reality is so confusing, might make you feel better about reality. I don't know. That might be a little bit too meta. Who can say? But do get comfy, get cozy, put your tea on the boil, gather your pillows and blankets, summon your animal familiars, light your candles, turn on the fairy lights, and follow me into a very strange fairy tale, The Owl and the Eagle. Once upon a time, in a wild country where the snow lies deep for many months in the year, there lived an owl and an eagle. Yay! Though they were so different in many ways, they became great friends, and at length set up house together. Oh, roomies. One passing the day in hunting and the other in the night. So they always had food, all the time. In this manner, they did not see very much of each other, and perhaps agreed all the better for that. But at any rate, they were perfectly happy and only wanted one thing, or rather, two things, and that was a wife for each. Okay, looking for love, reasonable. I really am too tired when I come home in the evening to clean up the house, said the eagle. Well, I hope that's not why you want your wife. And I am much too sleepy at dawn after a long night's hunting to begin to sweep and dust, answered the owl. Oh, it is. And they both made up their minds that wives they must have. What? They flew about in their spare moments to the young ladies of their acquaintance. What? So they're not even seeking bird wives, they're seeking human wives. They flew about in their spare moments to the young ladies of their acquaintance, but the girls all declared they preferred one husband to two. And they don't care that's not a human? The poor birds began to despair when, one evening after they had been out for a wonder hunting together, they found two sisters fast asleep on their two beds. Oh no. The eagle looked at the owl and the owl looked at the eagle. Eye contact, they signaled something, you know they did. They will make capital wives if they will only stay with us, said they. They're sleeping in a bed, but yes, they will make perfect wives, because we just need someone to clean. No big deal. They're sleeping. I can totally tell everything I need to about them. Oh, I love fairy tales so much. Anyway, and they flew off to give themselves a wash and to make themselves smart before the girls awoke. Must preen those feathers, sirs, must indeed. For many hours the sisters slept on. Well, yeah, for they had come a long way from a town where there was scarcely anything to eat and felt weak and tired. So these birds of prey are going to prey upon the weak and tired girls who just need food? This is terrible. But by and by they opened their eyes and saw the two birds watching them. I hope you are rested, the owl asked politely. Oh yes, thank you, answered the girls, in unison at one time. There's only one attribution there. Only we are so very hungry. Do you think we could have something to eat? So they're sleeping in a house, each in their own bed. We don't know whose house this is. It's not Owl and Eagle's house, I think. Or is it? It never said. Is it like a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs situation or Goldilocks? Oh no, who's this sleeping in the beds? Questions. So many fairy tale questions. I love it. Anyway, do you think we could have something to eat? Certainly, replied the eagle, and he flew away to a farmhouse a mile or two off and brought back a nest of eggs in his strong beak. Isn't that cannibalism? Or he's feeding young of his own kind to these girls. He's just stealing them too. He's stealing them. While the owl, catching up a tin pot, went to a cottage where lived an old woman and her cow, and, entering the shed by the window, dipped the pot into a pail of new milk that stood there. Cool, so he's stealing from an old woman who needs this cow for her sustenance. Sweet. Cool. The girls were so much delighted with the kindness and cleverness of their hosts that, we're really calling it kind and clever, they're swiping food. When the birds inquired if they would marry them and stay there forever, they accepted without so much as giving it a second thought. Wow. Okay, I guess it's a survival marriage. Cool. But we do know now that apparently this is Owl and Eagle's house and they have beds. So the girls walked into this, not trap, but I don't know, situation. Also, why is there a nest of eggs somewhere else? Because birds have nests, but these owl and eagle, these two live in a house with beds that they have to clean every day, but they just can't, so they have to find wives. Which, gross. Like, that's the point. That's not the point of a wife. I am a little upset, very upset, but whatever. It gets weirder, and that's what I'm here for. Anyway. The girls accept the marriage proposals without giving it a second thought. So the eagle took the younger sister to wife and the owl the elder, and never was a home more peaceful than theirs. I have a lot of questions about how this works. Yes, we probably know what those questions are. We've read so many fairy tales with weird couplings though, so All went well for several months, and then the eagle's wife had a son. Questions. While on the same day, the owl's wife gave birth to a frog. Cool. Way more questions with that one. See, same sentence, completely what? A bird and a human make a human, a bird and a human make a frog? I think one labor was way more intense than the other one. The frog just probably popped on out. And wouldn't it be a tadpole first though? Like, a baby frog is a tadpole, right? Or am I getting my frog timeline confused? Maybe something happens when animal DNA mixes with human DNA. I don't really know. I didn't think this was possible, but once upon a time, in a world, in the imagination, in this reality, anything can happen. I'm watching Sweet Tooth right now. It's a really cute show. So, whatever. We're gonna roll with it, right? Anyway, so Owl's wife gave birth to a frog, which she placed directly on the banks of a stream nearby, as he did not seem to like the house. Cool. The children both grew quickly and were never tired of playing together, or wanted any other companions. Oh my god, I love it. One night in the spring, when the ice had melted and the snow was gone, the sisters sat spinning in the house, awaiting their husband's return. But long though they waited, neither the owl nor the eagle ever came. Neither that day, nor the next, nor the next, nor the next. At last the wives gave up all hope of their return, but being sensible women, other women, not girls, probably because they had kids, I don't know, they did not sit down and cry, but called their children and set out, determined to seek the whole world over till the missing husbands were found. Now the women had no idea in which direction the lost birds had gone, but they knew that some distance off was a thick forest where good hunting was to be found. It seemed a likely place to find them, or at any rate they might hear something of them, and they walked on quickly, cheered by the thought that they were doing something. Suddenly the younger sister, who was a little in front, gave a cry of surprise. "Oh, look at that lake," said she. "We'll never get across it." "Yes, we shall," answered the elder. "I know what to do." And, taking a long piece of string from her pocket, fastened it into the frog's mouth, like a bit. How big is the frog's son? Is he just regular frog size, or is he a human child-sized frog? Because I think that might be relevant, especially if they do what I think they're gonna do here. You must swim across the lake, she said, stooping to put him in, and we will walk across on the line behind you. They're tight-roping across the lake, that's not what I thought. And so they did, till they got out to about the middle of the lake when the frog boy stopped. Wait, what? So it's not even a taut line? Or is it a taut line and it feeds through his mouth like a pulley, so it's always taut? That's a lot of pressure on a little frog's mouth. Like even a big frog's mouth. This is illogical. This is so fairy tale. Anyway, they did this until the frog was in the middle of the lake when the frog boy stopped. I don't like it and I won't go any further, cried he sulkily. And his mother had to promise him all sorts of nice things before he would go on again. That's pretty human, pretty typical. When at last they reached the other side, the owl's wife untied the line from the frog's mouth and told him he might rest and play by the lake till they got back from the forest. Then she and her sister and the boy walked on, with the great forest looming before them. But they had by this time come far and were very tired and felt glad enough to see smoke curling up from a little hut in front of them. I wonder if this was the old woman's cottage that they stole the milk from. Let us go in and ask for some water, said the eagle's wife, and in they went. The inside of the hut was so dark at first that they could see nothing at all, but presently they heard a feeble croak from one corner. Both sisters turned to look, and there, tied by wings and feet, and their eyes shrunken, were the husbands that they sought. Quick as lightning the wives cut the dear thongs which bound them, but the poor birds were too weak from pain and starvation to do more than utter soft sounds of joy. Oh my gosh, this is sad. Hardly, however, were they set free than a voice of thunder made the two sisters jump, while the little boy clung tightly round his mother's neck. "What are you doing in my house?" cried she. And the wives answered boldly that now that they had found their husbands, they meant to save them from such a wicked witch. She's a witch. Well, I give you your chance, answered the ogress. She's an ogress. See, I'm wondering if it's a translation thing, answered the ogress with a hideous grin. We shall see if you can slide down this mountain. Well, there's a mountain now. I thought we were in a forest. I guess in my mind I didn't picture a mountain, but if you can reach the bottom of the cavern, you shall have your husbands back again. How would she have known if they reached the bottom? Sounds terrible, sliding down a mountain. And as she spoke, she pushed them before her out the door to the edge of a precipice. Now this cottage is not in the woods, but it's on the edge of a precipice. What? Which went straight down several hundreds of feet. Yikes. Unseen by the witch, the frog's mother fastened one end of the magic line about her and whispered to the boy to hold fast the other. The frog's mother, which is Owl's wife, which is never just the elder sister, but she's always a mother or a wife. Also, isn't the frog left behind? Did she give the rope to the other boy? Anyway, she had scarcely done so when the witch turned round. You don't seem to like your bargain, said she, but the girl answered, Oh yes, I am quite ready. I was only waiting for you. What? And sitting down, she began her slide. On she went down to such a depth that even the witch's eyes could not follow her. Again, how would the witch know? Or ogress? Who is this? But she took for granted that the woman was dead. What? Which woman? The ogress witch? And told the sister to take her place. At that instant, however, the head of the elder appeared above the rock, brought upwards by the magic line. What? I don't understand what's going on. The witch gave a howl of disgust, she's a witch again, and hid her face in her hands, thus giving the younger sister time to fasten the cord to her waist before the ogress looked up. No, she's an ogress, and she's alive. But who's dead and where did this head come from? "You can't expect such luck twice," said she, and the girls sat down and slid over the edge. But in a few minutes she too was back again, and the witch saw that she had failed and feared lest her power was going. Trembling with rage though she was, she dared not show it and only laughed hideously. She's a witch again. "I shan't let my prisoners go as easily as all that," said she. "Make my hair grow as thick and black as yours, or else your husband shall never see the light of day again." She keeps changing the terms of letting them go, but who's dead? Is there one of the ogress or witches dead? Are they two people? Are they the same person and they don't know which word to use? Both sisters seem to be alive now. "That is quite simple," replied the elder sister. "Only you must do as we did, and perhaps you won't like the treatment." "If you can bear it, of course I can," answered the witch. And so the girls told her that they had first smeared their heads with pitch and then laid hot stones upon them. "It is very painful," said they, "but there is no other way that we know of. And in order to make sure all will go right, one of us will hold you down while the other pours on the pitch." So vanity for their hair, which we just now found out, is what the witch is motivating now. That's what she wants for the bargain? Okay. And so they did, and the elder sister let her hair down till it hung over the witch's eyes so that she might believe it was her own hair growing. What? Then the other brought a huge stone, and, in short, there was an end of the witch. The sisters were ruthless. So when the sisters saw that she lay dead, they went to the hut. I thought they were in the hut. Or are they in the basement? And nursed their husbands till they grew strong. Then they picked up the frog and all went to make another home on the other side of the Great Lake. I thought their home was already on the other side of the Great Lake because they had to cross it with the frog and the rope, and I don't understand how that happened, but I really am having a hard time understanding what happened just to hear with the bargains. I understand the last bargain, the deadly bargain, but the slide down. Oh my gosh, one of us is not living, but I'm a witch, I'm an ogress, I don't know. And then they all go to make a new home, even though they already have a home. I don't know. But this story was pretty cool, huh? Pretty fun, pretty reality bending. Anyway, the end. Dear friends and fiends, and especially Night Owl Supremes, I hope you enjoyed this story about owls and eagles that turned out not to be about owls and eagles in the end. I mean, it kind of was. They had to get rescued, but I think probably I'm missing parts of this story, and that made it a little confusing, to say the least. Maybe some things got lost along the way or lost between translations, as sometimes happens, but it was a nice story to enjoy. Maybe your reality makes a lot more sense now. That's the goal, right? But I hope you're having a wonderful evening so far. By now, off to sleep and dream what you will, or stay a while and enjoy another tale. Whichever you choose, I'll speak to you again, and until then, stay spooky, my friends. Good night.